What's up, everybody? It's your boy KG. We got episode 14 of Free Knowledge. Today's episode is entitled What's Consuming You? As you guys know, I want to give you a little bit of background of how this episode came about. I had the opportunity to watch this documentary on Netflix called Social Dilemma, and it was a very interesting. One of my friends told me about it. I checked it out. It was informational, gave me a lot of knowledge, things that I did know, and some things where you didn't know, but it just kind of puts it right in front of you to let you know how all these different social media platforms and apps on your phone, they're fighting for our attention, and as we all know, we're in a world where these cell phones, they are our lives. We do pretty much everything with them. Like, you think before, sometimes like back in the day, you leave your house without your keys, you turn around and come back, and now it's like your phone. Like, if you leave your house and you don't have your phone, you're literally turning around. I don't care what's going on, you're turning back around to go get it. And that's basically what this documentary was just showing, how basically these different social media platforms fight for our attention, and how we have to be mindful of it, because as we all know, if you spend too much time on social media, these apps, or even your phone, what it takes away is that social interaction, the interaction with your friends and family, coworkers, and just period, just being able to have a healthy conversation with someone face to face, rather than texting and talking on the phone, but just that social interaction, that human interaction. So if you guys get the opportunity, definitely check it out. Netflix, send me my check. I'll definitely take it for just giving you guys this quick promo for it. But yeah, check it out. And that kind of led to this quote that I heard from somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it basically said, if you want to know a person, look at how they prioritize their schedule. And that goes for anything. So that's a person in their relationship. So if you have someone in a relationship, what's something that a partner in a relationship will say is like, hey, if you want to make time for me, you'll make time. Again, that goes to prioritizing their schedule. If you really want to be in a relationship, you'll make time for that. Another thing is like coworkers, friendships, family, even yourself. Like, if you're saying, hey, you know what? I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, if you say you want to lose 20 pounds, is your schedule aligned to prioritize, you losing 20 pounds? Is your schedule too busy where you need to take some stuff out? And because it's so busy, now you're starting to eat fast food. So now do I need to step back and look at my daily schedule, my weekly schedule, and then my monthly schedule to say, hey, how can I prioritize my schedule to meet my goal of losing 20 pounds? So it can be looked at in any realm of our life, of anything that we're dealing with, how we want to prioritize our schedule, because again, it shows a lot about who we are as a person. If we have goals in our life and we say we want to do these certain things, and and our schedule is not aligned to it, then that's when we're losing. Because the one of the other most important things is that time is the most expensive currency that we have. Most people think it's money, but it's time, because once you you use that time, it's gone. So you want to make sure that you're valuing your time every single day. We're allotted 24 hours every single day. How are you prioritizing it? Because if you think about it, you're sleeping for 8, you might be going to work for 8. So you're already over half of the day right there just from working and sleeping. So now you have to think about it. How can I maximize the rest of that time during that day? And then just making sure that you're prioritizing it, because now if you do and you maximize your time every single day, you're going to see the benefits of that. You're going to see the fruits on the opposite side of that. And one great example of that is LeBron James. LeBron James, everybody knows he spends millions of dollars on his body, and if every time you see him, whether on social media, he's got the top trainer, he's got the top chef, because he's prioritizing that into his schedule. He knows that this is important, because he knows his ultimate goal is that he wants to be the best that he can be on the court. So you see that in his work, in his body of work, being in the finals the last 10 years, I think 9 out of 10 years. So it's just like, those are things that you have to prioritize. If you want to do the things that you say you want to do, your schedule has to align with that. Your time and how you allot it has to line up with that as well, if you want to be successful. And also another thing that kind of popped up to me that made me come up with this conversation that we're having right now is that, on the iPhone, it has the weekly screen report. And so after watching that Social Dilemma documentary, I started basically monitoring my like how I was spending my time on my phone. And what I noticed, that I had a lot of time on social media. Like, I would look on there and I would see it say like 3 hours of social media. And for some people, you're like, wow, that's not a lot, in a week. But for me, I was like, wow, that's too much time. Like, I'm not getting paid for that. I'm not, there's nothing coming from that. I'm not going on social media getting some information. I do follow a couple people that have some good information, but overall, it's more of a leisure time type of thing. So for me, I was like, okay, what else could I have been doing with those 3.5 hours of my life that could have been beneficial? Whether that's watching maybe a documentary that's going to give me insight, whether that's reading an article or doing some research on a future plan that I have for my family, whatever it may be. I could have used that time a little bit better. I'm not saying that you have to eliminate social media completely out of your life, but it's a beautiful thing to aware. Be aware of how you're spending your time, how you're allotting it. And then one other thing that kind of was a red flag for me is that I was spending more time on social media than reading, because it breaks it out in reading and other. So I said, okay, you know what? I want to challenge myself. And I looked up the next week. I seen that my social media went down and my reading went up. And that was what my goal was. So now I'm gathering more information. I'm utilizing my time better. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that, just giving you that free knowledge, giving you that encouragement to say, hey, just take a look at how you're prioritizing your schedule and see how you can be better. Is it aligned with where you want to go in life and the things that you want to do? And then also, too, look at how the people around you are spending their time, because that's going to show you a lot about the people that are around you. Are they around you holding you back, or are they pushing you to where you want to go? Are you guys all pushing each other where you want to go? So just to kind of jump into the 3 takeaways of this conversation that we have today, the first one is going to be maximize your time. You know how much time that you have every single day. So the biggest thing that I can say is that look at your schedule, maximize each and every single day that you have, and that'll allow you to do is that if you're maximizing every day, that means you're maximizing every week, and then if you're maximizing every week, then it means you're maximizing the month, because it's all broken out in those different segments. So take the time to say, you know what, let me look at my schedule the night before, the next day, and say, okay, what do I have that tomorrow to do? And write out a plan, write out a to-do list, a checklist of things you want to accomplish in that day. And then as you get better with looking at it day by day, now step back and look at it from a 7-day perspective. Look at it from a full week and say, how can I capitalize this week? What do I want to accomplish? And then once you get to an even better point, now you can look at a full 30 days and say, how can I conquer this month? I have this month. I know I'm going to work this amount of days this month. I know that I'm going to go visit family this weekend. But what are the things that you want to accomplish to get to your ultimate goal that you have in life? So that's the first takeaway. Second takeaway is being mindful of who and what you're spending your time on. So that, again, that kind of goes back to what I was saying, like looking at the screen report. I had 3.5 hours on social media, and I was like, okay, next week I'm cutting that down. I'm going to spend more time reading. I wanted to look in more research with stocks. I wanted to look in more research with, real estate, different things like that to get more information, to get more knowledge, because, you want to make sure that if you're spending time on something, you want to get it back. Again, going back to what we said, time is the most expensive currency that we have. So if you're spending time just watching videos on YouTube, maybe you watch something that's informational on YouTube. So yes, your leisure time, but you're learning while you're doing it. Find something that you really like, and then make sure that it's pouring back into you as you're spending your time on it. And then also the other part is who, because again, kind of going back to our conversation, is that if you're around other people and they're saying that they want to go, I want to do this, I want to do that. Now look at their schedule. Look at your friends around you. Are they dedicating their time like you're dedicating your time? Because your time is valuable. You don't want to waste any time that you have here on earth, because as we talked about on the last episode, life is short. You don't want to spend time, you're wasting it. You look back in your later years in life and say, wow, I really played around, and during that period of my life, I wish I would have buckled down and did the things that I said I was going to do. So always keep that in mind. Be mindful of who and what you're spending your time on. And then lastly, where can you reprioritize your time? This can be an opportunity for you right now. We're going into we're kind of in the beginning of a new month, but you can look at it and say, okay, where did last month maybe you spent some time where you could have rearranged it, that you could have made more opportunity, made more time, whether it's your relationship, whether it's work, whether it's maybe taking less time at work, balancing with your family, balancing with your friends. maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're like, okay, how can I get my schedule better aligned to make sure I'm spending time on my craft, but then I'm also having the balance of life and work. So however you want to do it, just take that time to reprioritize your schedule, and that'll allow you to just get in line with the things that you want to do in life. And most importantly, with all these things of what's consuming you, this episode is just keep in mind is that the number one thing, if we put our focus on God, put our focus on God and say, hey, you know what, God, this is what I want to do. And we tell him that this is what we want to do. And we show him that we're working towards that. That's all we have to do. And then from that point, he's going to walk us to our destiny. He's going to manifest those things in our life. We'll start seeing those fruits that we want to see in our life, because not only are we saying what we want to do, but we're actually walking the walk. So it's easy just to talk the talk, but can you walk the walk? Can you say, hey, God, I pray for this. This is what I want. It's going to be beneficial to not only myself but others, and I want to help others through this thing that I want to do in my life. And then you show them, you tell them, but then now you walk the walk. You do the hard work. You put the work in, and you see it manifest in your life. So I want to leave you guys with that for this episode. I thank you guys for tuning in every single week. Make sure you click and hit the subscribe button. Love you guys. Peace out. Have a great week.